What's up everyone, this is my day in the life as an Apple fanboy switching to the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. We started the day with 100% battery life waking up around 8:40 a.m. So I checked the weather app first thing in the morning. I'm a big fan of the S25 Ultra weather app. Using the modes and routine settings, I created a low profile mode that switches my wallpaper to black when vibrate is on, giving my phone a dark mode vibe. Using Gemini, I set a timer for 2 minutes to brush my teeth. If you don't brush your teeth first thing in the morning, what are you doing, fam? I know Samsung straight up copied Apple's dynamic island, but I find it pretty useful to keep track of apps running in the background like timers and maps. I usually throw on some Spotify, lo-fi music to get into a nice rhythm to start the day. Speakers on the S25 Ultra are pretty impressive, so I have no issue using them this morning. After straightening the kitchen up a little bit, I like to tap into the stock market before it opens up by watching a few YouTube videos. Squawk Box be having me weak. Sometimes the way they be going at each other can be crazy in the morning, but nonetheless is super insightful.
Markets are expecting higher inflation here.
Using active split mode, I can tune into the videos while also looking at the finance app to see how markets open today. My wife's birthday was yesterday and today's Valentine's Day, so I wanted to test out the camera and magic eraser tool by taking some pictures of the gifts I got her. While I initially disliked the dynamic range and the S25 Ultra's log mode, the color LUT preview feature changed my perspective a little bit by showing how the footage will look like after grading it. Days like today, I don't have as much time watching YouTube videos, so the summarize video feature is incredibly useful, getting a summary in seconds without even needing to watch the full video. What's up everybody? Today we're doing a day in the life with the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra in the black titanium color. And for some context, I've been using this phone for almost a week now, and it's been my main driver for the last few days. And my first impressions of this phone is that it's not that different from last year's model. The edges are a bit more round, but it still feels sharp when I hold it in my hand like this. And granted, this phone is so big that I don't find myself noticing how sharp the edges are outside of when I'm holding it in my palm like this. But I did go on a run yesterday, and the phone is just not the most comfortable to hold when comparing it to the Pixel and the iPhone. Because when I go on some of my runs, especially a run that's less than 5 miles, I will hold my phone in my hand because some of my running shorts and tights don't have big enough pockets to fit a Pro Max or a S25 Ultra. And also our first impressions, I think one of the hardest things when you're switching from iPhone to Samsung is the keyboard. I've struggled with the typing experience. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to find a iPhone-like keyboard just to make this transition a bit easier. But this is my main driver. Literally my group chats are all green bubbles. And yeah, I've been getting cooked for switching to the S25 Ultra, and they've been, the first meme I got was I don't know if you guys have ever seen the big emoji meme. Thought that was kind of funny. My brother got an Android and I'm fed up for real. Before starting my workout, I wanted to connect the Google Pixel Watch 3 to the S25 Ultra to track my steps and exercise. Setting up the Pixel Watch 3 was seamless. I just disconnected it from my old Android phone, transferred it to the S25 Ultra, and was ready to go in a few minutes. This process was much smoother than disconnecting and transferring an Apple Watch to a new phone. With 1,860 nits of peak brightness and adaptive color tone, I had no issues viewing Google Maps during my commute to the gym. After my workout, I decided to pull up to Donut Plant, my favorite donut shop in Brooklyn. They were really busy, so while waiting in line, I used Gemini to find the top flower shops near me. I quickly got a list of top rated shops, and the list is already sorted by distance along with the shop hours. After picking up some gorgeous flowers for wifey, I caught an Uber and decided to utilize a drawing assistant tool to generate a Valentine invitation for my wife. This tool is also useful for creating avatars for your contacts. I don't see myself using this AI feature too often, but on holidays like today, I figured why not. Also, TikTok just got re-added to the Play Store, so I was finally able to do a little doom scrolling during my commute. It's 3:11 p.m. and I'm at 40% battery, which seems pretty low considering I'll still need about 6 more hours of battery life to get me through the day. Is it just me, or do phone companies inflate the battery life for their phones just to make a spec sheet look good? I've yet to have a phone that can last a full day without needing to charge it, and when using AI features, the battery life can feel even more unreliable. So I'm back home and I actually just got a notification asking if I had my S Pen because it's no longer inserted into my S25 Ultra. That's actually a nice feature because I'm prone to losing things, especially small discrete things like an S Pen. What's tricky about these videos is you want it to be fun, right? And engaging and exciting, showing my day-to-day, but then you also don't want it to be unrealistic. I want it to be a realistic day in the life. So there are a ton of AI features, but I want to show you all features that I'm actually using. I didn't think I would use a GIF this early, but Drake just dropped his album in collaboration with Party Next Door. And yes, I was listening to it a ton when I did my workout earlier today. I'm not gonna give a score on the album because Drake albums typically age very well. So even if you don't like it during the first or second, even third listen, like a couple months, a couple weeks later, you may end up loving the album. But there were 2 tracks that I did like, and I ended up adding them to my like songs, which was Small Town Fame, Brian Steele. But everyone's going crazy about Give Me a Hug. Using the GIF feature was really easy. And it's actually pretty fun. Like when I watch other people create GIFs, it's like, okay, that's a cool feature that I don't think I'll ever use. But sending my homies a text message, how y'all feeling about this new Drake album with the GIF I created, makes this device feel so much more exciting to use. So I actually need to do my afternoon email catch up. And I really just have like 2 emails to respond to. And I'm actually gonna use AI to respond to one of them. All right, so using Gemini, I set a 45-minute timer on the S25 Ultra because I have this creative concept that I need to finish, and it's like of the utmost priority right now. So I cannot leave this office until I finish it. After that, I'm gonna go into Manhattan because what's a day in a life without testing the camera by going into Soho? This dynamic island is not as useful as Apple's because for some reason, I've noticed that apps that are running in the background that will show up in the now bar just disappear. I was using the now bar for Google Maps, I didn't reach my destination, and for some reason I didn't have access to it. Didn't have access to maps in the top now bar, and that is one difference I would say with iPhone. And it's funny, I don't know if Apple thought about this when they created the dynamic island, because now I couldn't imagine having a phone without it. It just makes sense. So with the S25 Ultra, I actually have to press this tiny little widget in order to show the top now bar. But with iPhone, I can just press the dynamic island, which is much larger. It's a much larger pill than this little tiny pill. I hope that makes sense. So I unexpectedly got a call from my AD at Watches of Switzerland for a Rolex Submariner date. I wasn't expecting this call by any means, but couldn't pass up on this opportunity to invest in one of my favorite Rolex watches, or watches in general. I've technically been on a list for a Submariner for well over 2 years at this point. Never been on this before. It's like a lift, like we're going up a mountain. I decided to snap a couple photos. The watch shop is in Hudson Yards Mall, one of the classiest malls in the tri-state. And so right in the center of Hudson Yards neighborhood, where offices ranging from Google, JP Morgan, and BlackRock can be seen. I decided to snap a couple photos and take some video and log the design and architecture in this neighborhood. This is more of a touristy place, but nonetheless, I always enjoy visiting, especially during Christmas. I have to admit that while Apple's log profile looks more refined, Samsung's can struggle with exposure. I noticed that brighter subjects look a bit overexposed at times, and it doesn't offer quite as impressive of a dynamic range. After picking up the Submariner, we headed to Zuzu's, a restaurant in the Manhattan West Mall, a Mediterranean restaurant that I've been eyeing for a while. It's right around the corner from B&H Photo and the Mahoynan Station. So if you're in the area, I definitely consider dining here. They have some amazing Moroccan fried chicken. There's also a coffee shop over here and some other really cool shops that you could check out. And we nearly got 12 hours of battery life. My phone officially died, so it lasted, I would say, for a full day.